What's going on, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about building your credit from scratch, from ground zero. If you have bad credit, listen, this video is for you. Let me tell you right now, if you have bad credit, this video is for you. I'm going to teach you how to build your credit up from scratch, from ground zero to the 700s or 800s or wherever you're trying to take it. We're going to get you there. Okay. First and foremost, rule one, the first thing you want to do is get a copy of your credit report. The reason you want to get a copy of your credit report is because you want to look over your credit report so you can find all the negatives. Now, how you get your credit report, you don't want to pay for it. They got free spots where you can get your credit report like Credit Karma or the Experian app. These are just a few of the places that you can get a free credit report because you don't want to pay for it. They're giving them away for free, so you can get a copy of your free credit report and look over your report. Once you look over your report, you want to find all the negative marks on your report. Any marked out loans, any unpaid mortgages, any repos, any late payments, anything of that nature. Anything of that nature. But before I go on, let me tell you one thing about credit. You want to watch out for late fees. Late fees are a big part of your credit. Your payment history makes up 30% of your credit. Remember that your payment history makes up 30% of your credit report. So therefore, you want to make sure you stay on top of late payments, because late payments will only add another inquiry to your credit report and help you stay down instead of elevating and get you up to where we're trying to take you. You usually got about 30 days before a late payment shows up on your credit report, and you got about 150 days before they actually send it to collections and the creditors come knocking at the door trying to get paid. Simple. So you just want to get a copy of your report. You want to go over your report thoroughly. You want to find all the negative marks. If you like me, I took an extra separate piece of paper and rolled it down all my negative marks on a separate piece of paper before I actually decided what I was going to do about it. I actually had them on a separate piece of paper, that way I could look at them. I knew what they were, and I became familiar with them before I went to the credit bureaus to attack the problems that I seen. Okay, so first, like I said, now I'm going to give you the good stuff. This is what you want to know. Now that you looked over your report, you found all the negative marks, what's the next step? I know that's what you're thinking. What is the next step? Okay, the next step. One of the easiest things you can do. A lot of people don't know this. One of the easiest things you can do is you can just call into the credit bureau. You can call into the credit bureau yourself and ask them to remove whatever negatives that you find on your credit report that you're not familiar with, that you think don't belong there, etc., etc. You can actually call the credit report bureau and ask them to just move it. Not saying that that will always work, but that is a method. Okay, well, another thing that you can do, you can actually write a letter. You can do a handwritten letter. You can write the credit bureau explaining your problem and wait for a response. If you got the Spring app or Credit Karma or these type of apps, that usually have a place in app that you can actually dispute it from in the app. But this is what I want to tell you. It doesn't depend how you choose to dispute these things. Whatever you're disputing, the credit bureau has 30 days to respond. They have 30 days. Keep that in mind. They have 30 days to get back to you. If they don't respond in 30 days, that's grounds to have whatever it is that you were disputing removed from your credit report. So you want to keep that in mind, that when you contact them, they have 30 days. Keep that in mind. 30 days to get back to you. If they don't, that is grounds to have whatever you're trying to have removed. That is something that you want to keep in mind moving forward. All right. Another thing, another thing that I want to tell you. Another thing is very important when you're starting off fresh, your credit's bad and you're trying to build it up from scratch, so you're just down bad in the credit, your score is bad. But another thing that you want to remember is paying off your debts will not make your credit score go right back off. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Let me put that out there. Okay. But after, let's say that you don't went through it. Before we move on, let me explain to you what credit is. Credit is a relationship between you and a financial institution. It's a relationship. It's a relationship based off of funds. Okay, now you might have heard the terms that a person with no credit at all is worse than a person with bad credit. The reason that is because the person with no credit at all, they have no history of relationships. Like I told you, credit is based off of relationships. It's just like if you out on the street and you got two dudes over there and another dude comes up and he says to one of the dudes, "Let me borrow $1." And the other dude say, "Yeah, go ahead, loan him $1. He's good for it." I know because I've loaned him money. It's the same way the financial institutions work, in the same manner. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, people. Keep that in mind. It's the same thing. It's just based off of relationships. So that's why they consider a person with no credit worse than a person with bad credit, because the person with no credit has no history. They have no history of a relationship. Okay, if that makes sense to you. Okay, so moving forward, as you build things up, let me tell you another thing. The difference between poor people and rich people. Okay, rich people, they get loans to purchase assets. Assets meaning things that are going to make them money. Poor people get loans and purchase liabilities, things such as a car, uh, that chain he wanted, you know what I'm saying, that new shoes, a house. Now, and let me tell you why I say a house. Let me explain this, because you have a lot of people who own houses that if you ask them if is their house an asset or a liability, they're going to tell you that their house is an asset. I'm going to tell you why their house is a liability. I'm going to explain to you why their house is a liability instead of an asset. Okay, if you buy a house and you choose to live in that house, the moment that you choose to live in that house is no longer really an asset. It's a liability. It's a liability because now it's not putting any of your money in your pocket. It's constantly taken from you. You're still paying. You're paying water bills, you're paying light bills, you're paying ground taxes. It's constantly still taken from you. So it's not an asset if you decide to live in the house. Now, if you decide to buy the house and rent the house out or do something where the house is bringing you passive income, you got income steady coming in off from the house, then the house is a liability. But if you buy a house and you live in the house is no longer an asset. The house becomes a liability because now you're still paying for it. It's not paying you. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want to make your money make money. That's the key goal. When you get your credit built up and you start to bring in passive income, your goal is to make your money make more money. That's it. There's no such thing. I'm going to give you another thing. There's no such thing as a person that saved money and became rich. You cannot save money and become rich. See, that's poor thinking. That's poor thinking to think that you can keep putting money in the money and money in the bank and you're going to become rich. You're not. You're not. Let me tell you right now, that's not going to happen. You're not going to become rich. They are unrealistic expectations. The only way for you to become rich is to make your money make more money. They say a person with 7 different incomes is a millionaire. These are just things that you might want to check up. But like I said, any of these things, if you want an in-depth knowledge of what's going on with your credit, financial, uh, passive income, you want to learn financial literacy, like I said, at the end of the video, it'll be in there where you can actually get your own mentor will guide you for the next 6 months on your credit journey to get you from one spot to the next. I've seen points go up from anywhere from 50 points to 200 points within 6 to 9 months. I've actually seen it. I've actually seen someone's score go up about 200 points in about 7.5 months. Mine actually went up when I done mine. Mine actually went up probably like 100 and something points in about 6 months, a little over 100 points. But like I said, the information will be there if you want to get it. The information is out there. I'm giving it away. You can always tap into the channel and get the information right here free. On my next video, I'm actually going to be giving you guys, check this out. You don't want to miss it. Listen, if you have bad credit, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss the next video. I'm going to be giving you guys five. Remember that. 5 different credit cards that you can go get right now for people with bad credit. And not only can you go get these cards, if you use these cards and utilize these cards right, these cards will help your credit build. So you want to, I'm going to be giving you some things. This is just, sorry about that. This is just the first video. So I'm going to be giving you a whole lot of things, a whole lot of tools, a whole lot of things that you can use if you need it. I don't got my good camera. The camera's charging up, so I'm making this video on the phone right now. So that's what that was. That's the light from whatever. But yeah, everything is everything. So I'm going to be coming out. I'm going to be giving you guys all the information you need to get on your journey, to make your journey a little bit easier, to make things, a little bit sweeter, bring in some money, get going. It's 2023. Want to start off with a new year. I'm going to be telling you guys all the things that you need to get you where you're trying to go. Just keep that in mind. All right, another thing I want to tell you. Another thing that I want you to know as you dealing with the credit bureaus, as you dealing with the credit bureaus, as you dealing with credit cards, one thing you got to remember before you start dealing with these credit cards, before you set out on your mission to make these things happen, you might want to start here. You might want to, because you don't want to, one thing that you don't want to do, what a lot of people do, a lot of people will dig themselves out there, out of a hole, just to put themselves right back in the hole. So what you don't want to do is put yourself right back in the hole after you came out. You understand? You don't want to do that. That's one thing we're not going to do. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to do that. So the goal here is to teach you how to build up your credit, teach you how to create passive income, then teach you how to obtain a few assets, and get on your road to financial freedom. So before I move on, I want to give you guys a few do's and don'ts while dealing with credit, a few do's and don'ts that you might want to want a few do's. And one thing you want to do, you want to keep your credit. If you do have a line of credit, you already have a line of credit, you want to keep your usage low. You want to keep your usage. It you know it's a People say different things about the usage thing. Me personally, I like to keep my usage between around about 7, no higher than 10%. I try to keep my usage as low as possible, and because that's a good thing. So you want to keep your use as possible. You want to build a credit line. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys all the cheat codes that you're going to need to get there. I got a bunch of cheat codes. I got a bunch of good information to get to you guys. Like I said, this is just the first video on this channel. I actually got another channel, but I don't actually do credit on that channel. But this is my first channel that I started the credit on. I actually got something else going on the other channel. I decided to step over here into this lane, and give out a few blessings, kick out the game, and it worked for me. I know if it worked for me, I know it'll work for you. I know it'll work for you. Like I said, you don't have to be no rocket scientist. So none of those things for this. This is simple 1, 2, 3 ABC step by step program workshop that's gonna get you to where you need to be. Like I said, the workshop is $25. You'll have access to the workshop. The workshop, you'll actually receive live video, email to you, live video, personally for you. Also, a written step by step to tell you how to do it step by step. You'll read virtual. You'll actually have a number where you can actually speak to a live specialist. And for $25, then you want to look at it as you're making an investment. That's what I did. I looked at it like I made an investment. I started off, I think my score was about 560 when I started. My score is in the seven somethings now, way up in the sevens. Not my score is at 560 when I started. So, like I said, it works. The information works, and you always got to remember that knowledge is power. So, a lot of people only in predicaments that they're in because they don't know the things they need to know to get out of the predicament that they're in. That's it all. So it's just some of us, some people know a little bit more than others. So in certain areas. So that's what it is. So we got to learn how to share the information with each other. Each one teach one. So that's the approach I'm taking to it. You know, I learned the information. I got the information that works for me. I done gave it to a few others. It worked for them, and now I'm bringing it to you guys live because I seen how good it works. So I had to be the voice. I had to bring it here. So every day on this channel, you're going to be able to turn in and get some type of credit knowledge or some type of financial literacy or some type of I've even studied and learned how to retrain your mind. I'm going to teach you guys how to hypnotize your mind for thinking, for a change, for better ways of thinking. It's real, people. It's real. It's real. It's real. So I want you guys to tap in with me. Stay on. I got a couple other things coming up. Like I said, in my next video, I want you to be there. Do not forget, I'm going to give you guys five. Don't forget five credit cards for people like you with bad credit that you can get right now. Right now. Not tomorrow. No fees, no hidden charges, nothing. So, yeah, until the next video, I'm about to tap out. I'm about to end it here, like I said, because I gotta wait for my good camera to charge up. So I want to end this video right here on a good note with you guys. I want you to go over the video. Remember what I said. Like, comment, subscribe. You want the workshop. The information will be in the bio. As I can tell you, it's 2023. Let's get this money together. No need to wait. Like I said, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm an average guy like you. But if it worked for me, it'll work for you. So keep that in mind. Come on, let's get it.